All right, hello, welcome. This is my Land Lab makeup lesson plan that I'm going to be going over. Lesson plan is called Bird Beaks and Adaptation for fourth graders, subject science or life science, about 60 minutes, or can make it a little less or longer if you want. The theme is basically adaptations in bird beaks. Objective is students will understand the different types of bird beaks and how they're adapted to help the birds eat different types of foods. We will simulate different beak types using different tools and evaluate their effectiveness by picking up different food items. The standards that are addressed for the NAAEE guidelines for excellence would be Strand 2 environmental processes and systems. It's under the B category is the main one I think kind of applies the Earth's living systems. Learners identify basic similarities or differences among a wide variety of living organisms, so the different bird types. Explain the ways that the living organisms affect the environment in which they live, and vice versa, how the environment affects them. So basically, what environment they're in, what foods they're eating, and what kind of beaks that they have or like developed to help them go through that process. The next standards for Minnesota academic standards in science would be the 4L4212. Um, it just says like obtain different information to determine that plants and animals have traits inherited from their parents or that a variation of these traits exists in a group of similar organisms. Materials for each group, it will be about 3 or 4 students. So basically have different tools to simulate those beaks. Pliers, like a strong hawk or eagle would represent that. Tweezers for small insect eating bugs. Chopsticks, long probing, birds like hummingbirds, maybe woodpeckers. Spoon for like scoop beak, kind of like pelicans. Straws could be an optional for like nectar sucking beaks. A clothespin, kind of simulate like a crow or a robin. And then we'll have different like bowls or trays with like makeshift food items. So like marbles or small rocks for seeds and nuts. Rubber bands or like gummy worms for worms. Puff balls or cotton balls for fruits or berries. And they can have like a water. It's kind of optional, but have like a bucket of water with small floating objects. So that can simulate like fish or aquatic insects. And then rice or small beans for those like insects or like the small grains. Do like a quick little intro in the that heated warming tent area, um, and just basically go over like ask them questions. Why do birds do you think have different shaped beaks? Show them different pictures of different bird species. Describe what they eat and how their beak helps out, and briefly explain the concept of adaptation, specialized beaks. And then lastly, you could have optional where students like draw their favorite bird with a colored pencil to kind of get them those creative juices flowing, and see what their favorite birds are, and then have them describe what kind of beak that they might have, like long, short, and kind of what type of maybe food that they eat too. We'll have a guided exploration. Use a different. They'll use it. Explain that using the students will be using like different tools to try to simulate like eating different foods for the birds. Discuss how some beaks are better for grabbing bugs or terrible for scooping out of water. And then we'll do the bird beak buffet activity. So we'll split into groups. Each group will have different tools or beak types to rotate, and each group will have like their own station with different type of beak, and then they'll kind of rotate through each station. So they must collect as much food as they can in 1 minute using that one tool, and then record how much food that they picked up with each tool, and kind of keep a tally or see how much each group gets, and you can have like a winner, maybe have like a prize or something. Yeah, rotate tools, repeat. Then we'll have like a little short reflection. Which tool worked best for eating food? Why? Connect the findings back to those real birds. Go back to the pictures if you need to show those. And then discuss how birds have adapted in their environments through having these features. And then we'll do a short little wrap up after the discussion reflection. Go over those keywords, vocab, adaptation, beak or adaptation, beak, specialized, and habitat. And have you could have also an optional like have a student draw a makeup bird too with a unique beak, so they can kind of create their own bird to kind of end it, describe what it might eat too. And then the assessment basically comes down to are they participating, completion of the data chart observation sheets to see how much they're getting for at each station, and then a little the if they're discussing during the reflection, and then you can have like optional at the end, like one sentence explaining why bird beaks are shaped differently. So, Yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.